order we have in the program is the same order we are going to follow. We're going to start with Agnieszka Lepak from Poland. We'll continue with Yahya Balde from Gambia. Then we'll pass to Denis Pisecki from Ukraine. And we'll finish with Martina Zigierska from Poland. All of them have been students of the Master of here in the LEF in Ankara. We can start. Then Agnieszka, is your time. You can start.
Okay, but I have presentation, but I can use my laptop because it's not working. So maybe later I can send that presentation and show this. And now I just tell what I want to tell.
I don't know if you can do anything about that because you have it. No? You have sent it before presentation.
Again?
You don't have it there in the computer? No?
Yes. On the computer, but I don't know why I can't use. And okay, I can show you like this maybe, but I think it will be 1 second. But quality, but maybe it will be better than nothing. 1 second. Okay, you see something? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's better than nothing, so I will try like this, but I don't know how long I can take this phone on my hand. I will try. So, Iguner, Benin, Adim, Agnieszka. I'm from Poland. I hold of journalism and social communication from the John Paul II Catholic University of Lublin. I was Erasmus student in Cyprus, Slovakia, and Turkey. Today in Ankara, I want to discuss how new media technologies help me to achieve my degree. My thesis subject was about Turkey in Polish reportages. So maybe I will start with this short definition of new media. New media is a term that encompasses two trends that have occurred over the past few decades: the evolution of existing media delivery system and development of new digital communication technology. Here is like a little bit more definition. So maybe I make this short, like new media technology is any type of application meant to transfer information via digital techniques, computerized system or data networks every day to make sure that we keep in touch with our close people. And also we use new media during our study or work. They're really helpful for this. And here you can see how we can divide traditional media and new one. Like, for example, traditional media are television, radio, film, newspapers, billboards, and mail. And new media are websites, social media networks such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, famous TikTok, emails, blogs, music, film, and television streaming services such as Netflix and Hulu. And here also I put some main features of new media, like they're digital, interactive, hypertextual, they have links, virtual, globally network, so they include cultural globalization, and they are more stimulated. We can see this especially in the playing games. And to the meritum of this, I just want to say like some advantages of new media technology in my experience during my master degree. So what I can say, I was writing about Turkey using a lot of books because it was like about Polish reportages. But during this work, I wasn't using only books because it will be impossible. I was born and studied in Poland, so I didn't know a lot about Turkey. So during my master, I must to take a lot of information to understand Turkey, to understand culture, to find a background about this culture. And I think without internet, it will be impossible to find this like in 1 year, because it was a lot of stuff like I can't understand because I wasn't born there and I don't know some traditional stuff. So I was using a lot of websites that give me very valuable sources. And also I was using podcasts, which helped me to understand some background issues. I use YouTube, of course, to understand some political and historical parts. And what I like, I use a lot of online newspapers, and it was like in online newspapers, you have everything like you can get update information, because when you want to use the print one, it's just like information from week ago or some days ago. And on the internet, it's like instant information, like something happens 5 minutes ago and you can check this right now. So this was really helpful, because I think like Turkey is like huge country and there is a lot of stuff like happens there. So it was really helpful to me to check everything this fast. And also when I have some question, I didn't know something, I can check this on the website. In my first chapter, I have like a lot of theory about reportages and also historical stuff. And I have some books, but still it wasn't enough to finish my paper. So yes, I use a lot of websites for that. And what I have like with problems, disadvantages of new media technologies, in my experience, I must to check everything, because there was like a lot of information which were fake. And I can know this by checking a lot of sources. If I read just one of them, I didn't know like it's not true one. And also everyone can write something on the internet. So it's a lot of like fake journalists who just write whatever they want, even it's not true. And as I have this problem, like I really like read like a lot of information, and some of them, they were just worthless. So I have a lot of websites, but still I can get nothing from them. And moreover, if I want to use some information, I prefer to find this on the internet, but after find also some book, just to just have sure like it's true one. Because when you're reading a book, every information were very checked. So it's still for me like more reliable sources, books. And also new media technologies create mostly short information, as I saw. So it was just like very quick information without any details, just in 5 minutes. And sometimes I need a lot of more to understand the background, to understand some issues. And I need to search a lot of websites to find the main of the issue. Because as I said, it's a lot of shorts kind of way to present some stuff. Even on the YouTube, when I was watching some movie, okay, if it was like documentary one, I can have like 1 hour about something, but normally it was just like 5 minutes of information with main stuff, but still I can take any background from this. So I think this is the main clue of my presentation. I was thinking very fast, so I'm not sure if it was 10 minutes, but teşekkür ederim.
Okay, great. But clear. Dealing with your own experience, studying here, that year in Turkey, and dealing with what you have talked about, advantages and disadvantages, also is more related with skills, no? The skills that students can learn while they develop this, they improve the use of the new media technologies. We are going to continue. I don't know if you have a question for Agnieszka, or we can leave the questions for the end. Is there any question in the hall? Looks like no. Okay, then Agnieszka, we are going to continue with Martina. They have asked me just a change in the order because she had.
Mark, just a minute. Sorusu olan varsa İngilizce veya Türkçe sorabilir. Türkçe soracak olan arkadaşların sorusunu hocamız burada translate edecek.
Tabii.
Var mı? Any question? Okay, we don't have any question, Mark. Okay. We can start with Martina because she's a little bit busy today.
Okay, thank you.
Agnieszka, thank you so much. We continue with the presentation of Martina Ziliarska.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you can all hear me. Just to double check if you can hear.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So I don't have presentation, but I think we will be all good just with my speech because I tried to make some parts so to be more clear for all of you. So firstly, small introduction, who I am. So I studied journalism and media studies with specialization in photography at the University of Warsaw. And I came to Ankara University in 2020 for summer semester. So in my presentation, I will briefly talk about the following topics. How COVID transformed my studying, characteristic of my thesis, and how the situation changed my workflow, and about new media tools that I used, and how this challenged my work, and how this changed my studying and my master thesis. So firstly, about my Erasmus Plus experience. So I started to study in Ankara in February 2020, and as we all know, how the situation changed a lot, and we all moved to online studying and online working and living. So from 23rd of March, Ankara University introduced online platform for studying. So this was the way how we were communicating and studying in general. And 1st of April, I moved to Poland, so I couldn't rely on any face-to-face relations with students or with professors from the university. So I was dependent only on new media tools. So now I will talk a little about my thesis. My thesis topic was the population of Bulgaria. And it was photography project, practical project. So the main part was to take photos in Bulgaria and making interviews with the people. Fortunately for me, I did most of the work before pandemic, but still I had some things to do. Still I wanted to anyway visit Bulgaria to continue with taking photos. So I had to somehow manage with this. And coming back to my Erasmus experience and what new media tools we used. Even before the pandemic started, we actually used a lot of new media tools, starting from something such a basic like email communication, but also we used WhatsApp a lot, which help us to catch up more, to communicate better with each other, which I appreciate a lot, and I think it really improved my studying here. Then I really have to mention two subjects which I chose on Ankara University, which I can say that really transport my thesis. First, I think the most important subject was journalism in context, conducted by Dr. Shafak Dickman. On these classes, I was introduced to data journalism, which was fantastic. And actually this changed my thesis so much that I added to my photography project more data, because my topic is full of data, full of numbers, and this was perfect way to show this to my audience and to show this not only on the pictures, but with some information that would really work on the imagination of the people. So on these classes, I was introduced to data visualization tools. So on these classes, I use tools such as Flourish and data wrappers to create graphs and maps with data. I also used Story Map that helped me create involving storytelling for my photos. Then second classes, which were also very important for me. It was techniques of presenting news online with Dr. Murat Chinar. And on these classes, I could remind myself WordPress. It was super useful for me because I decided to present my master thesis on the website, and I used WordPress, and I'm really grateful that I could remind all of the information because I used WordPress before, but I could remind, refresh, and actually learn something new and improve my website. And also another tools which we used a lot and what was super useful were Google tools like Google Meet, Sheets, Drive, that we could share our files, our work with each other. And I have to admit that because of these two classes, my master thesis became way better, more informative, and it wasn't just some abstract with the pictures. It get way more value. The challenges that I had during using these media tools, actually, surprisingly, it was sometimes lack of communication and missing this human part, because sometimes it was hard to learn something just from the video conference or just from some talking or sending emails to each other. So sometimes even that new media help us to communicate better, and even this conference is a great example that because of new media we can don't care about borders and distance, but sometimes with also technical problems that a bit we have today also, and something we had also during the classes can distract us from the main point and can be a challenge. But overall, I think that nowadays, and especially for my thesis, without new media, it would be impossible for me to work, to gain a big audience, and to make impact with my master thesis. So I think new media is future, and actually this future is now. Thank you for attention.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much, Martina, with this presentation dealing with personal issues, starting with the COVID. That obviously the COVID pandemic it was not a change, but it was a culmination of an existing trend, the culmination of the online environment. But what I found really interesting is just this, how media technologies have affected, have influenced your work, your master thesis, and how this has been like an important component of this study of your master studies with the use of data visualization tools, and how you integrated that into your thesis on the population of Bulgaria. I don't have any personal question, but I don't know, maybe it's fair if is there any question in Turkish or English in the hall?
Hello, Mark, again. Let me ask to our audience. Any question? Sorusu olan var mı arkadaşlar? Yokmuş. Devam edebiliriz.
Tamam. Okay. Then thank you so much, Martina. Would you like to add anything else?
No, I think so.
Okay. And we are going to continue with Yahya. Yahya Balde. Is he in Gambia now? No? Yahya?
Yes.
Yes. If you hear, you can start.
Just a minute. Let me share my presentation first. Salam arkadaşlar. Benim adım Yahya Bebalde. Gambia'dan bu sunu bugün vereceğim. My name is Yahya Bebalde. Doing my presentations from the Gambia. First, let me try to see how best I can share my presentation so that it will be more interactive for me to limit myself with what I was assigned to do. Just give me a few minutes.
Okay.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. My topic, I intend to go a bit different in my own way. I want to look at new media technologies, role in education ecosystem. For the fact, perhaps the experiences that my co-presenters have said, I might have not experienced it. I done my master's at a time when you know that the pandemic was not around. So that's why I just want to take a different approach here to limit myself in the area of the role of new media technologies in the education ecosystem. So basically, this from the diagram, you would see some of the footage that talked about various media ecosystem that we have. There you have YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. It goes on. Later I will get into details about that in my presentation there. So in essence, this will be the outline of my presentations. I will talk about the introduction, the media technologies we have, and given the historical context, and then I will also discuss new media and its influence on educational dimension, social. Then I will broaden it down to look at the challenges that are inherent or that are available in the aspect of digital divide, in accessibility. Then that will finally take me to conclusion where I would proffer some solutions where they need be. So for me, if we want to look at this topic, I want to take a bit radical approach in a sense that we have to look at some of the pastimes and areas that have emerged in the area of this, such as the after years of technological revolution. The new media offers a lot of possibilities, just like one of the presenters said. During the pandemic, that is the COVID-19, most of them could have not attended their physical classes or lectures at the Ankara University, but instead they had to go online, migrate to online platforms so that they were able to write their thesis and even complete their works. So here, I believe that new media have created possibilities of virtual presence. It also enables us to do teaching and learning experience, which have grown in a fast scale. We also look at the new theory of power, like Manuel Castells in 2019 or 9 have discussed in his book, The Network Society. You will see the theory of power in the information age based on the management of communication network. That there goes to show you that if we leverage on the new media, it comes with its own benefits that will be able to help us. There you see from the transition that we have earlier, from the newspaper, desktop computer, laptop, now people can have their cell phone to able to communicate like we are doing here. I am seated with my computer and I'm able to connect with you people from thousands of miles away in your own jurisdiction. All those things are possible today because of the work of a new media devices that we are harnessing and we are utilizing. So, like I said, the presentation intends to look at the role played by new media technologies in academia, its evolution, and discuss the influence new media have on both social political and educational context. Moving forward, looking at the historical context, for example, we all know the evolution of media has gone through different facets or through different layers, whereby we used to have the printing press that led to other development from 1960 to down the line today. The critical moment of new media could be around the 21st century, which gave rise to rapid technological changes over time. All these are fascinating and important moments that we have in the story of the literature. For instance, the mode of knowledge delivery by distance started to become more important and studied, especially at the time of Industrial Revolution. Requires educated workforce, as discussed by Soma at his material he presented under page 273. You realize what it intends to say here is that at the time of the Industrial Revolution, people began to be conscious about the importance of being connected and the importance of education. At that time, most of them who are so busy on the workforce have to rely on online classes so that they can get some of the basic education that they require. So that all those things are possible due to the presence of the online learning system, that's education. You also look at another instance here, historically, that had to do the Second World War. In the literatures, it actually reported that millions of American soldiers used to receive their instructions abilities via instructive movies without even making any physical movements from one place to another. They were able to come at one place, and someone somewhere, like we have here today, I'm presenting from the Gambia, I was able to dictate and tell you the way my presentation is going, or what approach do you need to do to get A, B, and C. So for me, all these things are facets. I think in the academic process, people are so overwhelmed to forget so soon. But in the trend of Industrial Revolution, you have the Second World War, all these things are instances have really helped to see the evolution of the historical development of the new media technologies, and there we are able to see further and the discussion. Well, now we talk about the new media influence it have on our society, more so in the academic dimension, that's the educational dimension. The new media becomes a tool to enhance conventional approach to learning, like Uzi and Lezim et al. Have discussed. So, in the process, it helps us to enhance a learning process, to make it more conventional so that people will be able to see learning process in a classroom setup and able to see a more idea than the four corners of classroom, where maybe during my master's time at Ankara University, I used to have my lectures at a particular lecture hall with Professor Dr. Gamze or Professor Kila Doxin or Nurian Toran. Exactly. But some were not opportune to that system. Some have to go totally 100% on online presentations. Some even will tell you that they have done their masters until they completed. They were not able to see some of their lectures. All what they do or they did is only being present online. Even though the online have so many benefits, later we discuss, it also have its own limitations. And I think as academics, we need to look at and appreciate some of both the positive and the negative it may have on our education system and how best we will be able to improve the system. The approach to education changes with the aid of social networks and other collaborative platforms, like I said earlier, has helped strengthen access to scientific content and digital database. Well, here now you can just sign on the internet, able to have access to e-journals, online, e-books, like Ankara University have a very rich online library. Gone are the days whereby if you don't get the physical book, you wouldn't be able to search people like Manuel Castras, who is a very fine writer in terms of communication network society research and digital media, for instance. So you don't need to travel or even to order a book from Amazon or somewhere, but Ankara University, through the help of the librarians, they were able to help you to access e-library book for you to do the needful or the readings or the research that you're supposed to do, especially as a master's student or PhD student. All these things are helpful. It also gives us opportunities for learners and teachers to create and present content in diverse platforms. Like I can be a producer of my own content and attract scholars to follow because I have the platform, I have the gadgets. I will be able to write something, put it on the internet, and people will start to follow my research or the work that I put there. Even though we know that there will be no means of mediation, like the other aspect of book writing will do, which will actually give us the time to go through different stages of editing or different stages of rewriting before final publications will be done. So learners in this aspect of new media are exposed and have access to learning materials such as, like I said, e-books, e-journals, online libraries has been increased significantly. So we also want to look at the social aspect of it. Socially, we leveraging the power of networks, cultivating connections, like we are doing today. Someone is in Russia, someone is in, let's say, Germany, etc. Someone is in the Gambia here. We can all connect into one digital platform and able to communicate and share knowledge and learn from each other on the subject matter that we want to do. That's take us to the issue of distance learning introduced by some universities. Distance digital pedagogy was possible through the new media, which with the aid of with the aid of Web 2.0 devices, all these things are possible. Now we don't even need students to be seated in the four corners of the classroom for them to be able to receive lectures or deliver lectures, but with the leveraging on the power of networks, you can establish connections for able to discuss some of these issues that you wanted in the academic cycle or ecosystem. Further, this medium also allow us to learners to get instant feedbacks, collaborations between lecturer and students. Like my co-presenters have done their presentations, we give them the opportunities for the audience to be able to question. If there is any question that you want to raise from the floor, all these things are possible due to the availability of online platforms or digital platforms that we have. We'll be able to leverage on that. Socially, very, very interactive, and it has some more positive value that we can learn. Important. The new media actually introduces interactivity to learning and enhance the curriculum and programs which is developed according to the new media infrastructure. One of the arguments there proposed by Roosevelt. So we will see all these things are issues that are readily available for us. We also talked about the connectivism and so possibilities of improvement in learning and establish social network between students. This would have been the first time I'm meeting some of you, but with this connection now, I will know who is Dennis. I will know who is Professor Mark, for example, because we are able to connect socially. We are here leveraging on the network and enjoying or cultivating that good vibes of cultivating connections among ourselves. So as far as this presentation is concerned, we can say online we're able to build a network that works for all of us for a positive value that we intend to generate from it. Well, this will take me to challenges. That doesn't mean that the new technologies are not accompanied with possible limitations in its roles on education. And I intend to discuss only two challenges, and those aspects touches the aspect of digital divides. Digital divides, and someone would ask, would be overwhelmed to ask, digital what? Maybe the term would be alien to some other individuals who never get connected or have access to some of the devices that we are talking about. Some we do know, live in rural areas or poor communities or areas that are hardly been access to some of the gadgets that we're talking about. So you will see that there will be a limitation. That student will not, or scholar will not be privileged enough to able to benefit some of these things that you and I are today doing because of there are some limitations that they have in their geographical environment. Another limitations there also will be inaccessibility, like we said. In the trends we were discussing at the time of the Industrial Revolution, you will bear with me that at that time we don't have these sophisticated new technologies like the Canon camera, for example, the digital phone, the laptop, for example. You can see the woman there who is doing editing shoot was only limited to where the computer was fixed. She cannot move it to her house if at all the computer is not being placed in her house. So all these accessibilities and some limitations that are being present in the aspect of the availability of digital media that we have, as we can see. Moving fast forward, to get to the conclusion, I will say the means of knowledge acquisition has dramatically changed due to the impactful role played by the new media technologies. And needless to say, the stated justification I said earlier suffice that to support the claim that knowledge acquisitions have really improved dramatically, and it helps students in diverse ways for them to acquire their degrees or even acquire a normal or basic knowledge that they would want to get that would be more relevant to their own life. We also talk about innovation is the mother of invention, as we will argue. Innovation is the mother of invention. If anything that COVID-19 pandemic have taught us, then we would rightly appreciate the positive impact of new media in enabling us to stay connected. We earlier had from the previous presenters that some of them were very worried. Some of them even have to concentrate their research online to monitor the subject that they were researching, especially in political mobilization process, for example. How do you do fact checking? Because it's not all that comes online are factual. You need to have your ways of doing fact checking to make sure that as a scholar, the information you will have there is not it doesn't influence your judgment. That will make to your final argumentative paper. So all these things are very important areas that as scholars we need to be very attentive to and pay a good presence on that aspect of it. The other aspect will be transformation of the global media industry by the revolution is a communication technologies that affect education, social and political worldview as argued by Manuel Castres, 2009. So in essence, Prof, I want to complete my presentation here to say thank you so very much and to all the audience there, the Ankara University for the third International Communication in Digital Age Symposium in Ankara, Turkey. I would have loved to be there in person, but with the help of digital platforms, I am able to make it, which I am a proud alumni or ex-student of the university to be connected. And in case you have questions, I am available.
Thank you so much, Yahya, for this very good presentation. You just said we are not there, we are not in Ankara, but thanks to these digital platforms, we can present we can talk. We can have the questions with the people that is there. I'll post two brief comments or questions. One regarding, well, you said that maybe the COVID-19, the positive part of COVID-19 also can be related not only with this idea that we can be connected, that we can maintain similar levels of attendance, etc. But it also forced many universities to change. Universities that were like outdated, that they were forced to complete a transformation that had not been finished. And regarding the digital gap, there's a question that has been started to be discussed, that it's not just about access. Hopefully, the access, this gap based on the access to the technologies, the access to internet is being reduced. We can see that in the African continent, thanks to the mobile technology, how more and more people is connected, and there's a sharp, radical increase in the use of internet, in the penetration rates of internet. Maybe the differences will come, and regarding education, in skills. The skills in using these media technologies. And this can, what do you think about that? Digital gap based on access, or digital gap based on the skills we have to use the information to learn from all that information and different tools and apps we have there. This was my question. And I don't know if there's another question. Zafer, can you ask to the whole?
Let me ask it. Sorusu olan var mı arkadaşlar? Türkçe sorabilirsiniz, İngilizceye çevireceğiz. Herhangi bir soru? Any question? We don't have? Mark?
Okay, then just what do you think about the digital gap based on skills?
Yes, Prof, that's a very important question. In fact, I will look at the skills aspect of it, both positive and in the negative aspect. Positively, the skills going online, it helps people to develop new skills, to able to know how to use some of these digital devices that are present, that are available. In the other side, or on the other hand, those who are not able to, or those who cannot use these sophisticated gadgets, the new gadgets, will be left out. The unavailability in terms of ability levels will not able to participate like you and I are doing presently, because of they don't know how, they don't get the opportunity to know how to operate some of these gadgets. Even they are available with them, but if they are not educated, they are not being taught, they won't understand how to operate them because of certain complications that comes with the tools.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. There are some studies that have shown that in some cases, for example, especially in Europe, a study on it was in the Netherlands, I believe, that was making a comparison of the hours of usage of different mobiles, different devices, and also this type of skills. And these skills were related not just about the usage, but also about the education. It was just they should be educated in this topic. Obviously, first, the access should be solved. Access to technologies is the first step to talk about any other kind of digital divide. Thank you so much, Yahya. We are going to continue with our last participant, Denis Pisarski from Ukraine. His camera is not working, and it looks like that. Please talk, please.
Hello. Good afternoon. Unfortunately, my front camera doesn't work, but I hope you're hearing me.
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I'm very happy. I'm so sorry that my, you see, we are living in 2022 and my front camera doesn't work. So I will try to share my presentation with you guys. Ekran, I guess, like this. And Canva, 1 second. Because the main topic of my presentation today is the influence of the new social medias to teenagers, to young people, to our future, because new generation is our future, as you know. So I want to talk about also negative part of the social media. It's not just about positivity. Uh, let's check if you see this. Presentuj. I don't know if you can see this presentation.
Yes, we could see it.
You can, yeah?
We could see it. We are doing something else.
Okay, great. Wait a second, because I don't see.
Wait.
Now I have 10 minutes, so it's enough.
Let's see. No, not yet.
Okay. Now you see, yes?
Perfect. Okay, you can start.
Okay, so how the new social media is affecting the teenagers' mental health. And nowadays, it's difficult to imagine life without the social media. And they play an important role in our lives and perform various functions. While their use gives us many benefits, it can also be fraught with some negative consequences, of which young people are not always or not fully aware, as you know. So a little bit about statistics. In Poland, 1 in 5 students compulsively use social media. 25% of teenagers feel overwhelmed by the excess of information reaching them over the internet. And 23% of teenagers no longer remember even life without the internet or smartphones. Up to 14% of young people may suffer from the FOMO syndrome. If someone doesn't know what is that, it's fear of missing out. Is the feeling of apprehension that one is either not in the know or missing out on information, events, experiences, or life decisions that could make one's life better. You also, if you see my presentation, you can see the link for that information. And while the social medias are created to connect people, the lack of face-to-face interpersonal relationships, well-curated content and pervasive cyberbullying are causing some teenagers to experience symptoms to anxiety, depression, and also isolation. Today, most teenagers between 13 and 17 check their social media profiles more than once per day, yes? So some familiar with technology realize that many use Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever, to promote a pampered image of their identity. So some teenagers are better than others at recognizing facial improvement filters and seeing stage photos that are inconsistent with the reality. Then deliberately created content and posts on Instagram of celebrities or maybe friends who looking thinner, richer, happier, maybe even more attractive, also cause feeling of insecurity, anxiety, and depression in impressionable teenagers who tend to compare themselves to what they see in the social medias. So that this negative comparisons are especially common with young women who are constantly inundated with images of the ideal body or lifestyle. So what's more, it's not just observers who experience symptoms of depression and low self-esteem that are associated with the social media addiction. And People who can create perfect images of themselves or their lives may also feel an anxiety and fear of rejection based on what they see online. They may even wonder if their friends really like their real in the brackets, personal lives, if their personalities don't match with their present in the social medias. So addiction to new social medias, technologies, and social medias generally, and reduce it how they influence to the physical activity. Yes, because many of us know the correlation between regular exercises and improved mental health. Physical activity supports brain function, helps us develop new skills, and leads to increased self-confidence and personal achievement. But spending too much time online usually translates into less participation in physical activity. Teenagers addicted to social media spend more time browsing their online profiles, which means less opportunity for them to experience the mental health benefits of exercises. And also a little bit, let's talk about sleep deprivation. One of the most common causes of depression among young people on social media is lack of sleep. A recent study found that teenagers who use social media for 5 or more hours per day are 70% more likely to fall asleep later or sleep less compared with these people who use the internet less. And sleep quality is usually inhibited or worsened by social media addiction, as blue light interferes with the melatonin production or can trigger feelings of FOMO syndrome, which can lead to anxiety and low self-esteem. So, my personal advices to young people, or also to the parents or teachers or professors who are addicted from the social medias. Of course, it's too early say that social media addiction directly causes depression, but psychologists believe that it dramatically increases the symptoms associated with this issue. That's why it's very important to learn to carefully monitor online time, as you understand what I mean. So my advice is, first of all, body positivity. Let's think positive. Let's accept ourselves. Let's say to our children or to young generation to love their body and accept themselves, to feel this confidence. The second one can be maybe think critically about the images or content what we are seeing on the internet. And also, let's limit access to social media, for example, by setting hours until which we or teenagers or young generation can use this. And also, let's openly say to young people about their expectations of social media, for example, by talking about the impact of cyberbullying and encouraging teenagers to never say something online that they wouldn't say to someone face to face. And I want to end, of course, not in the just negativity. I want to say that social media is not entirely bad. However, according to the Pew Research Center survey, 31% of teenagers said social media has a positive impact on their lives. while only 24% say it's mostly negative, and the remaining 45% say that the impact of social media is either positive, not negative. So let's skip this because I don't have, I think, enough time, but also, in fact, more than half of the teenagers in the research admitted to providing emotional support online and receiving it themselves as well. It can be especially important for those who have, I don't know, disabilities, for example, or they're discovering their identity, for example, LGBTQ people, or dealing with other experiences that may set them apart from their peers. So in the end, you can see the sources what I used. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Denise. You have made a fast review of many diseases and problems, negative aspects related to the use of social media, and many others that are still yet to come, because we are just understanding.
Yeah, we have to understand what is social media about and teach our new generation about carefully using them.
Yeah. But there's a second panel, a panel they should, of the panel 5, the fifth panel, they should have started 5 minutes ago. So we don't have time for questions. I would like to thank you all, the participants, Denise, with your presentation, Yaya, Agnes in the beginning.